Hello? What's going on here? Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I don't know I don't know what happened. All of my devices had been reset. Don't know what happened there. I think my computer just wanted to trip me up this evening. First stream back after a little while after my holiday. Will make his life complicated. We'll completely reset all of his settings. It'll be a laugh. Good evening all, welcome. How was the holiday? Well, as you might be able to tell, I've gone a couple of shades darker. Got a tan at least. Yeah, holiday was not bad. It was good fun. Went with some friends. There were 8 of us in total, so it was quite a big group. It transpired that the hotel that we went to, I'd already been to before. I didn't recognise the name of it, but as soon as we turned up at the place, I was like, I'm sure I've been here before. To my mother, she was like, have we? And it was, yeah. I'd been there with my mum, my dad, and my nephew in 2008. So that was it was a nice little surprise in some respects, because it was like a bit of memory lane, I suppose. But that's as far as we could say about the hotel, because the food wasn't marvellous. You know, the rooms weren't particularly spick and span as I would have liked. The air conditioning unit was like something out of the 1980s, just kind of stuck in the room, not fixed into the roof, the roof or whatever, like a lot of the hotels nowadays. It was just like a unit just kind of screwed to the wall, and it sounded like a washing machine. And we had to sleep with it on, so it was like all night, every night. We didn't have hot water for 4 days because the hot water broke. Yeah. So if I was in that hotel, I wouldn't have booked the hotel if it had been going on my own. I only went to that hotel because my mates were going. I was like, okay, I'll just join you. But yeah, if I'd have been in that hotel by some incident, just with me and my mother, it'd have been a long 10 days, I will quite assure you. The only thing that was marvellous about the hotel was the actual location. It had its own little island, so you had to just wade across a little bit of water to get to like a little island, which you could just sunbathe on. Wasn't very busy. The only slight drawback is there was no bar there, so you had to kind of wade back across the sea to get a drink. But there was, there was 8 of us, so we just took turns, so it wasn't too bad. And the entire stretch of the seafront, you could walk from one end of the hotel to the other, which I did routinely to get my steps in. I made sure that I did 10,000 steps a day, exercise in the 32-degree heat. It was 32 degrees every day, sweltering hot. In the evening, it dipped to a pleasant 28. It was muggy, humid, sweat dripping down whilst you're trying to eat your dinner. The hotel was devoid of air conditioning, so there was no way to escape it other than to go into your room. I'm painting a picture here. Dearie me. But I had a good time. I went to the Appleton Rum Factory. That was good fun. I got myself a £150 bottle of rum, which I'm going to open. I did say at Christmas, but I might not be able to wait until Christmas. Went to 9 Mile, Bob Marley's resting place, where he lived as well. That was quite something, quite spiritual. If you could look past the money-making parts of it. It's supposed to be pay your respects, but before you do, why don't you buy some of this? Why don't you buy this? Why don't you buy this? Why don't you have weed shoved in your face as soon as you get out of the bus to go into the place? Dear me. God bless him. But anyway, I actually had a really good time. I'm painting this like it was a horror show. The facilities weren't marvellous, but it was fantastic fun because of the company. We went clubbing one night because there was a club on the premises. It opened at 10:30. There was like 10 people in there. 5 of them was us. But I had a dance around. It was great fun. Got a lot of exercise in, did some trips, drunk lots of alcohol. Found a new cocktail that I like called a Cool Runnings. Yeah, and some of the food was all right, but yeah, a lot of it was just, I was just getting sick of it by the end of the 10 days, and I couldn't have done 14. That would have been far too many days. But yeah, doesn't sound comfy. And unlike my friends who were going to Heathrow, so they flew with Virgin, their flight out was delayed by 6 hours. They went on the 17th, we got there on the 19th, so we got there and left after they did by a couple of days. So they were delayed by 6 hours, and then going home, they got delayed by over 24. They were sat on the runway, and the plane, there was like, no, this plane is not going anywhere. Because they were going from Jamaica to Bahamas to Nassau, and then from Nassau to Heathrow. So they got from Jamaica to Nassau, going home, and then when they landed in Nassau, the plane was going no further. Technical issue with the plane, couldn't fix it, so they had to take them off, take them to a hotel overnight, and then get a flight from Miami to Nassau for them to be able to pick that plane up and take it back to Heathrow. So they got another 24 hours in a 5-star hotel in the Bahamas. Which, when my mate sent me the picture to say, oh, look where we are right now, we're not in England because the plane's been delayed, but here we are in the Bahamas. It looked like a really nice hotel. Thankfully, our flight was completely and utterly without a hitch. We were delayed by 25 minutes. I mean, oh, God help us all. Yeah, everything went smoothly for good old Tui. But I got back on Thursday. So I've had sort of Thursday, Friday. Friday I went to Birmingham. Yes, so it was the Games Expo, the Tabletop Gaming Expo, big event. And I didn't buy any games, but I bought. You've seen it on the Discord server. I bought a dragon bottle holder. As soon as I saw it, I had to have it. It's like, oh look, this is lovely. My friend was like, it's hideous. I'm like, are you having a laugh? Don't you insult my dragon, who I've called Morgan, of course. He's already started drinking the captain. So yeah, I got that in Birmingham on Friday. Saturday, yesterday went to my mate's house. Today I just chilled all day and just come back from football. So I've just thought I'd just kind of have a relaxing 4 days to get back into the swing of things. So tomorrow, back to work, back to routine. I'll be ready to rock and roll. I've kind of been a little bit kind of chilled. I've been in Jamaican mode. Jamaicans very chilled out, do things at their own pace. So I kind of have to get out of that routine now because, you know, it doesn't wash in this country. Being sedate, things need to get done. Although when it's 32 degrees, I wasn't moving very quickly either. But I did manage to lose 4 pounds. Which is the most I've ever lost on a holiday. So there you go. I was eating pretty healthily, very healthily, in fact, getting my steps in, and the weight flew off. So I've come back, and I don't even have to worry about losing holiday weight because it left me. It left me while I was there. What films did I watch on the flight? On the flight, I only watched 2 films. I watched one film on the way out and one film where we came back, because on the flight I was just kind of sat there in my own little zone. I had a little bit of a snooze, and they ply you with a lot of food and drink. The drink trolley comes round, and on the way out I was like, yep, I'll have 3 Bacardis, please. Thank you. My mum ordered me one. I ordered one for myself, and I topped myself up with one when she came back. The trolley came back. I'm sipping away on my Bacardis. I'm off on holiday. I'm excited. It was all great fun. And I thought, after about 4 hours of being fed and drink and just kind of chilling out, snoozing, going up and down to the toilet, remembering to keep walking with my flight socks on because, you know, blood clots and all that. Got to keep moving. I sat down and decided to watch The Matrix. I've not watched it for a very long time. So, yeah, I watched The Matrix on the way out, and on the way back, I watched Matrix Reloaded. I enjoyed them thoroughly. I've only watched the third one once, and I was like, I wasn't impressed in the cinema with the third one. So I didn't watch that on the flight. I might get around to watching it at some point, but who knows. And there was a fourth one released about 3 years ago, wasn't there? So that was on there. Like, oh, I'm not watching that either. Couldn't be bothered. The first two were my favourites. Mass Effect Cocktail Book coming out in December. I saw that briefly somewhere. Mention of it being a potential for the Christmas party stream. I'll have to take a look at that. I'll have to take a look. It'll be good fun. We could shake some cocktails live on camera. Be a very alcohol-themed stream, with me cracking open the old 21-year-old Appleton's bottle. My mouth is salivating right now as I think about it, actually. To be served only with a very small blob of ice and half a teaspoon of sugar syrup, and that's it. Not to be sullied with anything. God forbid you put mixer in an expensive bottle of anything alcoholic. So, anyway, where did we leave off last time in this game? So my next holiday is going to be in November. So I'm all holidayed out now. So, you know, it's getting warm in this country, so there's no need for me to go anywhere. I'll enjoy the delightful... It was really nice yesterday. It was about 18 degrees. It was really sunny. I went for a walk to the local field. It was really nice and pleasant. Not swelteringly hot, so that it's burning your face off. And it feels like a sauna. As much as I love the heat, you know, 10 days of just incessant heat. Even I was feeling the pinch. Get me to the cooler climate. So yeah, it was very nice yesterday. It's been not too bad today. A bit cooler, a bit greyer, but dry, which is the main thing. So there's been no rain since I came back off my holiday. This is very strange. You normally step off the plane in Manchester and it's raining before you've even got out the damn plane. So that was a pleasant surprise. Anyway, where did we leave off? We left off with a new vice president. I just literally watched the last 10 minutes before the stream started, because even I had forgotten what had happened. And we had put our good friend, not Peter, the incompetent one, but Lucian. We'd put Lucian as the vice president, and that was pretty much the big event of the last session. So, here we go. Let's see where we are. We are starting out with some news. Lucian Gallard rises to the task. Following the unforeseen departure, unforeseen if you are completely clueless. I mean, it shouldn't have been unforeseen given the amount of incompetence that was demonstrated throughout our term. The latest incident being the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah, the unforeseen departure of Peter Vecton, as expected. President Rain has picked Lucian Gallard as his new vice president. Mr. Gallard is an enigmatic figure among the USP members. He's known to be highly efficient and a task-orientated individual that takes pride in honesty. As part of the Rain campaign and as his chief strategist, he has years of experience working with the president. Mr. Gallard will begin serving his post immediately. Enjoy, Kairos. Have a good one. Thanks for just dropping by. Good to see you. Start of winter, Nagisa. Ooh. I mean, your winter isn't exactly like... Your winter is like our summer, basically. for most of the thing. For the most part. We might occasionally get a bit hotter, but... Goodness me. But yeah, having spent 10 days in 32-degree oppressive heat, I'd welcome cooler temperatures actually eventually. Yeah. But yeah, obviously whilst I was away, the news came through, filtered through, because of course you have Wi-Fi. Yeah, the Wi-Fi was crap as well in the hotel, by the way. Not that I was stuck to my phone, but it was just like when you've got Wi-Fi, it's I'll just do this, and it's like, well, maybe I won't, because it's just whirring around. But yeah, obviously an election is happening on the 4th of... No? The 6th of July, is it? I think it's the 8th of July, 7th of July. I don't know. Clearly I've paid attention. So, yeah. 4th of July. Oh, it is the 4th of July. What a day to have it, right? Yeah, so the 4th of July, we're having an election where, of course, unless anything ridiculously strange goes on, Labour should be getting in. The Conservatives have had their time, it seems. But nonetheless, we have to endure, a month now of campaigning and adverts and just constant nonsense. UK is having an election on US Independence Day, and the US election is on Bonfire Night. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thank God for the T20 World Cup and the Euros. Yeah, to distract us from this crap, this nonsense. This is a democratic process. I hope to God, because I'm going to film it and post it on the Discord server. I hope to God I am present in this house when the Conservatives come knocking. Oh, God help me. Because that poor individual's going to get my tongue. Oh, dearie me. I'm going to send them packing so fast, they're going to wish they'd knocked on my door. Oh, yes. I sincerely hope I'm in when they come calling. Which constituency am I in? I'm in a strong Labour stronghold. I'm in a Labour stronghold. It's been Labour since, early 90s or something. Our constituency's been here for a long time. Might not bother with your seat, Dean, would depend on how close it was last time. No, it's a Labour stronghold. In fact, I never have recalled the Conservatives coming knocking on my door, because probably they realise it's just no point. We're in a safe Labour seat. Yeah, it'll be even safer this year, I assume. Unless Count Binface is putting his bid in. Count Binface. Right, anyway. So yeah, we probably won't get any, but I sincerely hope I do. It'll be a great laugh. I'm telling you now, I can see it on my little ring camera. If I see any blue rosette stood at the door after they've pressed my bell, my phone is going on record and I'm rushing down the stairs so fast, quicker than if it was a bottle of rum being delivered, because I have to give that person a piece of my mind. There was one poll that came out saying Tories on 66, Lib Dems on 59 for seats. That would be something. That would be catastrophic. Can you imagine that? If they actually got less seats than the Lib Dems? Holy hell. Listen. I can smell them. I can smell them. You can wear whatever colour rosette you want, pal. If it's not red, I smell them a rat. Or green, maybe. Maybe the Green Party might come knocking. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I'm actually quite excited. I want them to come knocking, I really do. Anyway, shall we press on? Yeah. It's game over for him. It's probably game over for Rain, to be honest, in his own party. But yeah, because it's now politics time, election campaign time, this is quite fitting to be playing this game. You know, we're in the politicky mood. Politicky mood. As I said before, my favourite part of... Is it? It's a Thursday, isn't it? The 4th of July must be a Thursday. Elections are always on a Thursday. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's my favourite part of the entire rigmarole. You know, is all the election night and all the drama and the counting of the numbers. Ooh. And then they start, and obviously it takes a while for them to start counting and messing around, and you just get a lot of experts and things on the screen. Oh, you've got to jaw this for at least a couple of hours, and then you get, and there's always that race, isn't there, to be the first constituency to get your total. And it's usually somewhere like Sunderland or something. You know, there's the race to get the first one in. It's all fun. It's all good fun. Anyway, we're not urging people to vote anything here. We're not swaying. We're not discussing. I mean, it's a political game, and I've raised the topic of politics here, but we'll try to keep the politics to a minimum, unless it's in the game. Anyway, in the world of Swordland, where politics is much more straightforward, Lucien Gallard is going to make our job a lot easier. A lot easier. Lucien Gallard is the Vice President. Let's see what the Radical thinks of this. It's official. Lucien Gallard is the new Vice President of Swordland. Looking at this pic objectively, I catch myself thinking that honestly, we all saw this coming. The man was working alongside President Rain for years. He is somewhat of a shadowy figure, as not much is known about his past apart from his successes to rise up to this point. Regardless, looking at his famed track record, we can say with certainty that Mr. Gallard will be a much better Vice President than Peter Vecton. To quote the whole Liz Truss situation, I think a lettuce would have been a better Vice President than Peter Vecton. Let's be honest. Oh, Hurt Cupboard, you've just come out with it just after I said it. Great minds think alike. Right, we've got the media. Oh, this was where we left off. Yes, the mediation of the dispute in the gendarmerie. This is Lilius's failing here. She's failing miserably. Oh! You know, before I started the stream, right, I got back from football about 45 minutes before the stream was due to start. And this is before, obviously, the technical issues with the whole setup of my camera, the game sound and the microphone sound. My keyboard. This thing has just randomly stopped working. It was working this morning. I turned the computer off, I came back, no longer working. I love this keyboard. It's a soft touch, easy to type on. I've put 4 different batteries in it. Nothing. So I'm going to buy a pack of new batteries tomorrow, and hopefully it's the batteries that have dud. But the mouse to that stopped working, if you remember, about 3 weeks before I went on holiday, and I had to get a new mouse. So perhaps the keyboard is now also gone. I don't know, but I'll get some new batteries because I don't have double A's in the house, other than the ones that I've put in, and they all aren't doing anything. It could be a coincidence. All the batteries could just be flat, but it just seems a bit like too much of a coincidence that I put 4, 5 different batteries in there and none of them are working. I don't know. So I'm currently using my mechanical keyboard that I bought a little while ago, the clicky keys one. And 2 of the buttons are missing off it. The number 9's missing, at least the cap. And the left, the right. What button is that? I don't even know what button it is. It's next to the right alt. What button's next to the right alt? Oh, function. The function button is also missing its cap. I won't need the function button, it's fine. It's only got to put me on for a day. I'm working from home tomorrow, so I'll have to use this decrepit thing for work. Anyway, it's probably under warranty, but it cost me like 20 quid and I just really can't be bothered. Saying that, maybe I should be bothered. You know what I mean? They could send me a brand new one. Saves me having to spend more money on a keyboard. But anyway, we'll try batteries. It could be batteries, we'll see. I'll let you know tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow anyway. So anyway, mediation of a dispute in the gendarmerie. So there you go, you've had your flim flam. Anything else I need to catch you up on? Not really. Anything else you want to know before we crack on? Because for the next 2 hours, we are pressing onwards at great haste. My goal is to finish this quite sharpish now. That's my first plan. And then my second plan is to get to the end of Act 2 in Baldur's Gate, and I might take a break from that. And then start the second season of CK2 and just be playing that and Three Kingdoms for a little bit, just those two. Let's just get into it. Right, here we go. Here we go. Yes, it's starting soon. So starting tomorrow, I'm also going to watch this. I'm going to watch the season 1 again. I'm going to binge watch the season 1. Act 3 is the best of them all. When I say take a break, it's not going to be like for months. I'm talking like maybe 2 months tops. So that should give us enough time to start season 2, CK2, you know, Game of Thrones mod, House, Topcliffe. Should enable us to start that whilst season 2 is actually up and running. So that'd be pretty cool. Right, anyway, okay, let's get cracking. We've got mediation to do. Is CK3 on my radar? Not for the time being. Not for the time being. Many more mods and stuff have to come out, and not mods, you know, patches, and I want the game a bit more detailed. I arrived in the city of Vesord with my new vice president by my side, after receiving an emergency meeting request from Iosef and Lilius. Satire, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Here we go. I'd seen the reports of a recent issue that rose between the Swordish police forces and the gendarmerie units at the city. The report said that an operation against a drug trafficking gang in Vesord failed due to miscommunication. It was not hard to guess what this meeting was going to be about. We entered the city hall and made our way to the second floor. I could hear Iosef and Lilius' voices echoing through the hall. I opened the doors to the meeting room. The two ministers did not even realise. There we go. The correct version of you. Welcome. This is unacceptable. How dare the police meddle in the affairs of the gendarmerie? It was your men who started this ridiculousness and meddled with an ongoing police investigation. Their voices were getting louder and louder. Rural security is my jurisdiction, and your men went way outside of Vesord. This isn't new. How about Berger, Mr. Lancer? Let me remind you. I've been tasked with eliminating the BFF, and thanks to your men, we have already slipped a BFF leader from our grasp before. Mr. Lancer, Miss Graf, please remain calm. What is the problem? Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, apologies, but Miss Graf here fails to understand her place. No, Mr. Lancer, you are the one who does not understand his place. If you continue to do so, you will pay for it one day. Ooh, get Lilius, bloody hell. That's enough now. Calm down, both of you. Slam the table. Goodness me. I am trying really hard to stay calm, Mr. President. Miss Graf, you are pushing your boundaries. Okay, let's hear who should we hear first? We'll hear Lilius first. Lilius, what's going on? Mr. Greaser, the chief of police, was tasked with the investigation of a drug trafficking ring in downtown Vesord. We found the evidence of a drug stash located in the outskirts of the city. We had to act quickly to put an end to the criminals we have been watching for some time. So we immediately sent our police units to catch them and find the drugs in the compound. Mr. Lancer and his gendarmerie did not notify us that they were also moving against the same target. As a result, criminals got away and we lost months of progress. Isn't there a line of communication between you? I mean, it sounds like common sense, does it not? there is, but the Minister of Defence decided to avoid notifying the police department about the planned raid. The same could be said about you, because the reports show that you knew about the gang and their stash in the countryside. I started tapping the table with my fingers, probably to calm myself down here. This is two ministers we have here in our office before us, and they're behaving like two flipping children. How do we solve this problem so that it never happens again? I think this was the last drop. Internal security matters should be handed to the Ministry of Interior completely. We are called the Ministry of Interior for a reason. We can't let any more screw-ups like this happen again. She looked at me. I want the gendarmerie to be transferred to the Ministry of Interior. What? Woman, are you out of your mind? Yusuf turned red with anger. He composed himself after a moment. Looking at it from the perspective of improving our internal security, I agree with Miss Graff. We would reap the benefits in the long run. Look, Mr. Gallard, I know you are new at this end, and there is much that you were not briefed about, but Mr. Lancer, you are forgetting who I am. Ridiculous! This is absolutely ridiculous! I won't hand over the gendarmerie to her. Out of the question. Oh dear. Another opportunity seems to have presented itself to put one over on Mr. Lancer. Oh dear. Not that we're childish and still out for revenge for those many, many years ago that he ousted us out of the army. I sip my tea. Ah, Mr. Lancer. Out of the question, you say? Why is that, Iosif? Is it because it actually makes sense? You already reduced the military budget and dealt a blow to our defense. I can't understand why you are continuing to weaken our military. The police forces have certain units that are capable of conducting similar operations. I want to remind you about your promise, Mr. President. Promise? What promise? Anyway, we won't be drawn into promises right now, Lilius. It's likely that we're going to give you the gendarmerie, but that's a good point. We have weakened the army significantly, but we've given conscripts, haven't we? Didn't we give them conscription? Or we maintain conscription or something? We've given them a little bit. Hello, Master Nice. Good evening to you. I remember it very well. It's like white lie, what promise? Don't you worry. Ah, that is relieving. What promise? I'm asking the questions around here, Iosif, not you. What promise, he says. Ah, now I see what is going on here. Enlighten us. We've been a bit. Well, I think we've been a bit harsh today to Iosif, but you know what? I'm back off my holiday. I'm feeling in a harsh mood. Enlighten us. Exactly what is going on here, Iosif? Lilius set us up to create this incident. Lilius bit her lips. What proof do you have? There is no way that the police has arrived at the right time of a month-long search on the exact day and minute of the gendarmerie raid. This is conspiracy theory territory, I might point out, Ayosef. It very much is a conspiracy theory. This kind of an accusation is unheard of. Nonsense. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word Mr. Lancer says, Mr. President. Heed my word, Mr. President. When dealing with these situations, you need to always look at who gets what out of it. I won't stand idle by these utterly ridiculous and baseless accusations. I don't have time for this. What is your decision? I won't put it past her, to be honest with you, but you know what? Lucian says it's a good idea, which means that unless we feel strongly against it, we're not going to go against the wise words of our new Vice President. I am relaxed after my holiday. That's why I'm being nasty. Because I'm in a relaxed, happy mood. So I'm going to take my happiness out on Iosef and be really nasty to him. And feel good about myself for doing it. The gendarmerie will be transferred to the Ministry of Interior. My decision is final. Final answer. You are making a mistake. Thank you for being a man of your word. It was the right call to establish a modern internal security structure. And from now on, allows lines of communication, open them and use them. Work together and don't be fighting. I want capable and effective members of the cabinet. If you get my gist, just look what happened to those that were ineffective. Need I say more? Good day to you both. We will do our best, right, Mr. Lancer? Yes, that's right, Miss Graf. I left the room to attend my next scheduled meeting. There's a slight smirk on my face. Oh well. What will be, will be. Policies updated. Situations updated. Here we go. Gendarmerie is now under the Interior. And situations, Ministry of Interior strengthened. Interesting. Interesting. Might be a good way to tackle some of these issues. You know, could be a good thing. A military coup. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We've done them over far too many times. They're going to pounce on us at some point. Gendarmerie transferred to Interior, reports the Whole Sword Post. The palace decided to transfer the gendarmerie force under the Ministry of Defence to the Interior, following a dispute that occurred earlier in the week. It is reported that the two ministries have resolved the problems and that President Rain wanted to improve the internal versus external security structure. Officials from the MOD did not comment on the transition publicly, while the Minister of Interior, Graf, hailed the move as a necessary one. Briefing on the current healthcare situation. Okay. What's happening in the realms of the healthcare? Pascal, brief us. He comes with his stacks of papers. Mr. President, he put the mountain of papers on my desk. It made a loud thud sound. What do you want me to do with them? I know this seems like a lot. Reviewing it shouldn't take more than a day. Can't you just give me the summary version? You think I'm going to sit here and read this for a day? I'm very busy. He measured the pile again. Maybe two. Oh, right. Very well. Thanks for bringing these in. I'll have Peter. I was going to say that. I'll have Lucian read them. It's fine. he can give me the highlights. Thank you. No problem at all. They contain very important information about the status of our healthcare. Salaries, expenditures, hospital reports, whatever you like. We can go through this together. I did ask that out loud. So, you know, you know the rules. Can't you just give me the summary? And I can then just look at these at my leisure a bit later. Oh, of course. Very good. I breathed a sigh of relief as he put on his reading glasses to look at the document he was holding. So, we have concluded our report for the year. Our services hasn't necessarily gotten any better compared to the last years. We have missed several funding opportunities to expand our services in the country, leading to several issues being unsolved. Anybody can succeed when given all the resources. We need to do better. No, we won't be too harsh. Yeah, we just generally need to do better. We need to be spreading that money out effectively, efficiently, making efficiency savings and all that kind of jazz. Come on, Pascal, I told you this before. I mean, look at the state of our government budget, after all. And I'm still managing to spin 50,000 plates. Yes, I agree. The recession absolutely pushed welfare to the brink, and no further funds mean we couldn't do much. But as you can see, it hasn't been the best year for us at all. Then get to the bottom of it, Pascal, because next year we'll expect to see better. I will do whatever I can. Now, that I have given you the short summary, there is a very important matter to discuss. Leaning over to grab his briefcase, he pulled out a tan-coloured package. The package was stamped with big red letters that read, "Confidential." Pascal opened the package and brought out a few documents and handed them over to me. I took the documents from his hand. It was a report from the Ministry of Health. Each page had a stamp on it that read, "For the President's eyes only." The report was titled, "Polio Outbreak in Berger." Oh. How bad is it? For now, it seems to be under control. We have a few villages under quarantine. The total number of infected is currently 1,467. The death toll so far is 23. If we have more outbreaks, the results will be terrible. We are not where we could have been in terms of our healthcare funding. With what we currently have, I'm afraid it might not be enough to curb the infection ratio. This is a very serious matter, Mr. President. The lives of Swordish citizens are at stake. Okay. Any solutions, Pascal? Now that you have outlined the problems, surely solutions are on the table. We have done our research. There is a cure. A vaccine was recently invented in United Contana, and the formula has been made available for free across the entire world. No matter what people think about United Contana, if the same thing had happened in Arcadia, we would be paying a steep price for it. Unfortunately, because of the state of our current funding, we have neither the required materials nor the capability to produce this vaccine locally, which means we have to buy it. It will be costly, but nothing comes before health. I think -5 is as deep as I'm willing to go into my debts. Oh. Oof. Oh. Shish kebab. This is terrible. Oh no. Kind of want to do it, but I can't. We cannot possibly go any deeper into debt. It's budget or death. No, it can't. Because we're like, it's only been 30 deaths, it's only been 23 deaths, but there's 1467 infections, and polio, is if there's no vaccines for it, it leads to death. So those 23 are going to become more eventually, and then it could spiral out of control. I mean, what's the difference between -5 and -6, really? There's got to be a trigger point. And we've been given 2 messages, don't forget. We've been given 2 messages already about the state of our government budget. Which makes me think, if we go even any deeper into debt, it's just going to be catastrophic. Any more catastrophic than people dying of polio? The line might go green next term, though, for example. It's been on the increase for a little while. Okay, so we're a president that has been for the people, and people that are dying, and there's a vaccine now, and as much as it's painful to the budget, I can't see us turning down the opportunity to save lives. Could be catastrophic, could be bankrupt, but we went bankrupt with the best of intentions. Okay, let's hope that our government budget comes down by some event, hopefully in the not too distant future. But yeah, people's lives are at stake here. Yes, fine. Gus, Simon probably wouldn't approve, but let's get this vaccine administered, crafted, done, dusted. People well again, spending money, hand over fist. Okay, thank you. You have once again proven that you are the right leader for Swordland in my eyes. Right away, Mr. President. This is a great first step. But I'm afraid simply having the vaccines won't help. We need to make sure they are administered. We need to implement a nationwide mandatory polio vaccination policy. With your order, I can immediately get to work to ensure we are doing whatever it takes. This might seem excessive, however, it is absolutely necessary. Okay, mandatory vaccinations. I think it's the way forward. Off you go. I've paid for the damn thing, I might as well flip and go the whole hog. Off you go, Mr. Pascal. Get it sorted. Excellent. Now, if you will excuse me, I must get to work immediately. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. He left my office, leaving me alone with a lot of paperwork to go through. And a heavy feeling hanging over us about the state of our coffers. Oof, -6. Look at this, epidemic prevented. Hang on. Right, mandatory vaccination policy. Epidemic prevention measures due to a health emergency. Epidemic prevention plan. We are taking people's health very seriously. Epidemic prevented. Contain the spread of the disease and keep the infection rates low. I mean, that's some good news. People's lives before money, people. People's lives before money. Geopolitical, volcanic power. Yark Trellis harnesses advanced energy solutions. The hell is that? Confederacy of Yark Trellis? Or whatever. There you go. Read at your leisure. Systems tap into the heat from volcanoes, converting into electricity. Geothermal plants. Look at that. Very posh. Very posh. No parties. No cheese and wine parties here, folks. We're all staying inside, doing our stuff. It's fine. We've got vaccines, alright? Polio, a thing of the past. Just put this handy little drop under your tongue. I never did Google that after the last time I asked the question. I'm sure polio was not a vaccine, like an injection, and was actually just a little drop of something under your tongue. Never Googled it. I'm sure it was though. Whoa! Less smoke bill. A family meeting and a report. Let's read the report. Fair Trade Commission established. Oh, this was the only thing that we could change when we got that list of things that we could do. Remember that? We got a list of things that we could enact and we didn't qualify for any of them. I think this fair trade was the one that we could do, if I remember correctly. It's been a little while. But anyway, it's been established. It's a good sign. Less smoke bill. The Assembly passes an amendment to the tax bill of 1944 in order to increase tax revenue and reduce the excessive amount of tobacco consumption in the general populace. 10% tax will now be 30%, and it gives us government budget. Bing bang bong, sign away. Tax to smokers to cure the polio. We like it. Look at that. I got my wish. What did I say? I hope we get an event that gives us government budget shortly after signing that. Oh, it just happened. Oh, President Green would be so proud of us. Less smoke, more vaccine. Exactly. Overview. There we go. More situations. Tobacco consumption reduced. Look at us. The line has flattened because we're getting less. Oh. Oh. Oh, see you later, Ollie. Oh, I forgot to read the comment that you put about your Pathfinder character dying. Hello, Shelley. Tobacco consumption reduced. So we're promoting healthiness. We're channeling our inner greenness. I'll go back and read it later. But anyway, time to smoke less? ? The administration has signed the Less Smoke Bill, aimed at increasing tax income for the government and reducing the high tobacco consumption. Tobacco was recently discovered as dangerous to personal health after researchers in United Quintana published an international paper. Oh yeah. Smoke's taxed. President Rain has signed the bill into law, which triggered a dozen complaints from working-class citizens who smoke often. Health officials have praised the discouragement of tobacco with the increased taxes. Look, it was passed in the Assembly. I just signed it, right? Not my fault. I didn't think it was worth vetoing. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, smokers, but you're just going to have to pay a bit more for your fags, aren't you? I think you are. Right. Now that people are getting healthy and things are going so smoothly at the start of today's session, you know, we've ticked off Iosif Lancea once again. It's always a happy time. People have been cured of their polio and smoking is being reduced. Taxes have been increased. Our government budget has not changed. It's back to where it was. It's time to enjoy a family meal. Feeling good about ourselves. As I stepped through the front door of our stately residence, a sense of tranquility washed over me. The house was quiet. Almost too quiet, without Frank blasting his music from upstairs. Of course, Frank's in the army. I entered the grand study and let the warm glow of the room envelop me. Monica was sitting by the fireplace with a very old-looking book in her hands. "What are you reading?" we asked. "Oh, I didn't realize you were home." I took some books from the presidential library. This one in particular caught my eye. She showed me the book she was holding. I didn't recognize the author, but the name definitely sounded Valgish. It's about the women's struggle in post-revolution Valsland and its breakaway states. Ah. Take its contents with a grain of salt. Okay. Is it a good read? Ah, it is indeed. Especially the part about Garmland and the Empire's former Rican colonies. I had no idea the women there managed to organise so well and so early. It's very inspiring, actually. But anyway, is everything really going well at work? Especially after everything that happened with Peter? Peter who? I don't want to sound too dismissive of Peter, but yeah, the new Vice President is cracking on nicely, advising me, getting stuff done. I can't say I'm not enjoying it, having a competent Vice President. I know, I didn't want to make it sound like I was like, goodbye Peter, happy days, but I'm just trying to put across that this new Vice President is doing a much better job. You're probably right. Thanks to you, I was just about the only woman at university he didn't go after. But I saw the way he was, and how he continued to be. The truth is, that man has always been a bad influence on you. And I don't think he should be forgiven after what he did. Yeah, I don't want to badmouth him behind his back. What's done is done. Let's just move on from the whole incident. Nobody's perfect after all. Well, I know, I'm sorry. I don't know, Anton. All of this seems to have put you under a massive amount of stress. Maybe we can make some time for a little getaway. We can have a weekend retreat out in the countryside. What do you think? Ah. You know what? That sounds like a good idea. And I've got a vice president who I can trust to take care of things while I'm away for a couple of days, and it just not all come crashing down around us. Yes. A marvellous idea. Let's make the arrangements. Great! She grinned. Just then we heard the patter of small feet approaching the study, and Sergei? I've forgotten the name of my driver. How could I? Sergei, isn't it? Could look after Dina for us, I'm sure. Dina appears with a piece of folded paper clutched in her hand. Mama, Papa, look what I found! Monica and I immediately turned our attention to her, our curiosity piqued. And what have you got there, darling? Dina unfolded the paper and started to read it aloud. Oh my god. She's not doing too bad. She's got over her jet lag a little bit quicker than usual, I think, to be fair. Which is good. I don't think she's still 100% just yet, but I think she's definitely getting there. Takes obviously a few days to acclimatise. We hope this letter finds you in good spirits, surrounded by the warmth of your loved ones. Oh, how we long for a world where justice prevails, where the corrupt are exposed, and the righteous triumph. Her voice started quivering as she continued. We advise all of you to tread carefully, for it was Anton Rain who grew the darkness over this land and suffocated our people. For what the President did, he and his family shall face retribution. Oh, happy days. Happy days. How on earth has she come across this? Oh, retribution. It's retribution, sweetheart. Just gloss over it. You know what? Let's not make a big fuss of it and scare her. It's retribution, actually. Retribution. There we go. Yes, retribution, sorry. The safety you have enjoyed so far is nothing but an illusion. Think twice before stepping into our ancestral lands. Danger lurks around every corner. Flipping hell, this was quite who's written this? Don't forget, the powerful are vulnerable and the oppressed have nothing to lose. Anton! Monica quickly stood up and snatched a letter from her grasp. We just let her read it all. It's okay, darling. This is all just a bad joke. Sighed Iosif. She gave me the letter and I immediately started reading the rest of it. Everyone who has been complicit in this injustice will have to answer for it. We will also visit Governor Bron. With the arrest of Mr. Ijal, we have finally come to terms with reality. The peaceful movement has failed. Consider our words, for they hold weight beyond your existence. Your decisions shape the destinies of millions, and their consequences will reverberate through the nation. With sincerest concern, the Bluedish Freedom Front. What are we going to do, Anton? This is serious! I'll check in with the Presidential Guard. This should never have even reached us in the first place. And I shall be making sure that they are alert. Very alert, and we shall have to take precautions. No going out in public alone. Okay. We can't be too cautious. This letter is directed at our entire family, and we know what its authors are capable of. Dina, sensing the tension, tiptoed closer to us, her eyes wide. Dina, honey, where did you find this? She hesitated for a moment before speaking. I found it in the living room window. It was stuck between the frames. Yes. It's okay, sweetheart, it's okay. But next time, please talk to me or your mother before touching things like this. Okay? Papa, what's going on? No, are they threatening us for something you did? She spoke innocently, but I could sense a new guardedness in her voice. I took a deep breath and tried to find the right words. Dina, we've received a letter from some people called the BFF. They want to do bad things to us because they don't agree with what we stand for. Is that really right? We put Ijal in prison. He went into prison willingly, actually. Or did we put him in prison? No, we didn't put him in prison willingly. Yeah, I don't think it's that they don't agree with what we stand for. We actually are on their side. It's just that things have just developed in a certain manner. No, darling, I haven't done anything wrong. The people who wrote this do not believe in the authority of our country. It's as simple as that. You know, some people just don't agree with, people in charge and things. We can't please everybody, so some people get a little bit about it and they just write silly letters. There's nothing's going to happen. It's fine. Now you run along and play in your bedroom. No, let's play here where we can see you. But that's not fair, Papa. Our country's supposed to protect all of us, right? Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, sometimes that country doesn't function the way it's supposed to. Yeah, a few little issues here and there. When it doesn't lead to problems with different groups of people. But don't worry. Problems can be sorted, and these groups of people can eventually see the same thing, and all the problems disappear. How about that? Yeah. So what are we going to do? We can't let the bad people win, can we? No, Dina. We certainly can't. We can't. We will never surrender to fear or threats. They're not bad people, Dina. They're not bad people, just people with bad ideas. But don't worry, I shall show them the way. I shall show them the right thing to do, and all will be well. Trust me, Dina, trust me. Okay. Monica tugged on my arm. Anton, we have to talk about this. You and me alone. She gestured towards the kitchen. We'll be back in a bit, sweetie. You just sit down there and watch. We probably have a television, right? We're the president. We have all the latest technologies. We entered the kitchen and Monica closed the door behind us. Anton, I know the Ashraf anniversary will take place in a few days. I don't want you to attend. You know that it's the largest ever commemoration of the Izam incident, and it will be swarming with Bludish separatists. Everything going on in Berger, and the timing of the letter, this cannot be a coincidence. Oh, shh. Oh, no. No, we're gonna have to go. I've got a bad feeling about this, but we're gonna have to go. And this is what they want, Monica. They're trying to strike fear into us all, and we do not bow down to fear. I'm the president, for heaven's sake. Don't worry, I will ensure the necessary security precautions are taken. You cannot simply decide that by yourself. This is about all of us. Look, Monica, you have to trust me. If there is a threat, I will handle it. How, Anton? Bloody hell. Bold as brass here. It just takes one opportunity, one slip of the security, and poof, good night Vienna. Holy cow. I don't really believe that after all the chaos I've seen in this country, Anton. Do you think we can trust the Presidential Guard after this? No, actually. But I will get to the root of this problem and ensure that such things don't happen again. You have to do something about our security. I will. We will weather this storm together, and I will take the necessary measures. She did not respond. I knew what I had said hadn't made her feel any better. Before I could say anything else, she embraced me tightly. We'll get through this together. We have to. How real was the threat to my family? Did I really have the power to guarantee their safety? I felt a chill running down my spine. Support the Ashraf anniversary. Holy hell. Report, presidential security increased. The Presidential Guard reported that the security measures surrounding President Rain have been significantly bolstered following the receipt of a threatening letter from the notorious extremist group, the BFF. In response to this credible threat, a comprehensive review of the President's security arrangements has been conducted, leading to the implementation of enhanced protective measures. These include increased personnel deployment, heightened surveillance systems, and closer coordination with intelligence agencies to preempt any potential threats. Yes. I make sure it's on point. Attend with an armoured convoy. Jesus. I think we should go with an armoured convoy. I mean, it looks quite aggressive though, doesn't it? But attending without an armoured convoy just seems like a suicide mission. Oh, okay, this requires some thought here. Going without any sort of heavy security, you know, coming in there, you know, we're putting ourselves in a vulnerable position, but that could be seen as, you know, we're here with open arms. You know? We're here with open arms. We're here not with armoured convoys, with aggression, but we run the risk of being shot dead, but we still have security measures in place. Yeah, we would still do, wouldn't we? Armoured convoy, it does seem a bit much. But it's, caution. Caution. We're going to put ourselves at risk here. We're going to go as normal here. We don't want to be doing anything that is seen as OTT, aggressive. We're going under our own steam. Oh, this is bad news. This is bad news, folks. Could you imagine the end of the LP right here? It's the stream series rather, isn't it? But yeah, it was a good innings. We almost got to the end of our turn, but hey, the BFF got us in the end. Right, we step with caution here. On our way to Suzerain, we stopped in Deir to meet with the Governor of Berger, Felix Bron, to discuss the security situation within the special zone. He wished us luck at the event and told us to be careful before bidding us farewell. Do we trust this man as far as we can flip and throw him? After a few hours' drive, we finally arrived in the ancient walled city of Suzerain. The city had been of a particular importance to the Bludish people ever since the Izam incident and the death of Watani Ashraf over 2 decades ago. Today we are here to commemorate the anniversary of those events. The ceremonies were to be held in the aptly named Izam Square, several blocks away from Lake Sol and the sunken ruins of the village of Izam. We entered the historic centre of the presidential Cadilla. The streets were littered with broken glass and the walls defaced with graffiti. I sensed a heavy regional police presence. Our convoy could barely fit through the narrow streets, disrupting the local traffic and creating noisy chaos in the usually tranquil city. Pedestrians stared at us with concern as we and our security forces drove towards the square. I must say this was a good decision, sir. This will help ease tensions. Yes, that was my plan. That did come into our thinking. You know, olive branch and all that. As expected. We are almost there. I can hear the crowd. I heard the chants and shouting from outside. Lucian leaned closer to the window, listening to their voices. They seem to be chanting Yolak Bluderat. I believe that means free bloody in Bludish or something of the sort. A large crowd had assembled in the square. There were probably at least 10,000 people. Our vehicle came to a stop. I noticed an excessively high amount of regional police, as well as the gendarmerie and local police. They formed a human barricade around the square, staring intimidatingly at the crowd. Must be the governor's doing. My driver exited the vehicle and opened the door for me. I saw many signs that condemned the arrest of Feti Ajal. We were greeted by Mansoon Lek. He wore a coat over his suit, which was marked with the red and turquoise stripes of the Bludish movement's flag. He moved forward to greet us. Welcome to Suzerain, Mr. President. Take his hand and raise it in a display of unity. That could be a bit far. I think just shake his hand, it's fine. People are still going to see it. You shake his hand. We shook hands. He pointed at the gendarmerie forces. I'm not sure how bringing your army will help. It's the governor's doing. The man who abuses his authority to oppress Berger. I am supportive of you, Mr. Lek. I want him gone as much as you. He clenched his jaw. Mr. Lek? Mr. Gallard, welcome. Shall we move on to the sanctuary then? Let's go. We made our way to the Suzerain sanctuary, which stood at the end of the square. A much smaller replica of the Ark Sanctuary in Dare, the ancient building had a mystical aura emanating from its blackened walls. We entered the building through the ornamented large metal gates. As we walked, the noise of the crowd faded out. Everyone fell silent for the ceremony. Thousands of candles were burning inside the sanctuary, one for each person that died in Izam. The red candle in the centre was for Watani Ashraf. Mansoon gestured toward the candles. Oh shoot. Pick up the red candle? Pick up a candle? Do not pick up a candle? I mean, picking up... Is it going to be a great offence if we pick up the red candle in the middle? Pick up a candle of just some regular person that's died? I think I'm going to pick up the red one. It's like probably the most kind of poignant move we could do, isn't it? For better or for worse. I picked up the red candle for Watani Ashraf. He also picked up a candle and started walking out. Many others followed suit, including us. The atmosphere outside had completely changed. Not a single noise came from the crowd. We slowly walked towards Ashraf's grave. On the way, hundreds of people joined us. Seeing the red candle in my hand, some people started shouting at me, breaking the silence. One man managed to break security cordon and ran towards me, screaming. Oh, flipping hell. Oh boy, here we go. Don't defile Ashraf's spirit, you racist dog! Take your hands off that candle! Before he could get to me, security forces grabbed the man and dragged him away. Oh boy. I should have picked up a white one. Oh God, here we go. Mansoon looked at me with a mix of fear and anger in his eyes, but he knew better than to speak. We're making a right pig's ear of this. When we arrived, he pointed at a huge standing torch above the grave. Light the torch together with Mansoon. This has got to be the right answer, surely. We lit the torch together. I turned around and realised the sheer amount of people who were following us. They were all looking at me, waiting to hear what I would say. Just then, I noticed a few BFF flags waving at the very back of the crowd. Signal to Lucian. I signalled to Lucian. He immediately bowed his head toward mine so that I could whisper in his ear. Is there something wrong, sir? I saw some BFF flags. Go check if everything's all right. Are you sure, sir? The police wouldn't have allowed those flags here. The crowd was getting restless. Okay, I'll continue the speech. It's fine. Good luck, sir. Oh, shooting hellfire. Right, here we go. Okay, brothers and sisters, my fellow citizens, free people of Blue Deer. Are they free? They're under the shackles of the flipping governor here. How do we refer to these people? We have always tried to help them, of course we have, but they're not much better off than they were. Fellow citizens, this is that whole citizen sword stuff, isn't it? The old amendment situation. Right, I think, yeah. They're not free enough for my liking. We'll go with fellow citizens. That'll do. We're all citizens here. Fellow citizens. There we go. So it's kind of a generic start, I think. We're here to mourn Watani Ashraf and many others who have lost their lives, or we're here to mourn those who tragically lost their lives in Izam. I think I like that one. Those who tragically lost their lives. I condemn the events that led to the loss of these lives. We do we? I should have read up on the history just to refresh my memory, but I'm sure whatever happened, we're going to condemn it. Very condemn it. Very condemn it. It's not good. I'm not going to go for 2. We are all about unity. Oh, is that what it was? Okay, so yeah, I would condemn that, to be honest with you. We are doing our absolute best, but I'm kind of thinking like, well, we're coming to the end of our term now, and, you know, we have been going for some time, and in their eyes, they probably would be like, well, you've not done much so far, have you? You liar. So we'll continue with what we've been continuing. Our whole strapline is about unity. Despite attempts to divide us, our people will stand as one. We are sword, we are blood, we are all united under one flag. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be it. An old man from the crowd... Oh, an old man from the crowd yelled, "He is right!" Oh, yeah, very good old man there. Well done. Oh, we have a dream, apparently. We're going to go whole into dream mode here. I have a dream. Blood swords... It doesn't matter who you are. We all get along and dance round fires, toasting marshmallows, drinking wine. It's a beautiful sight. And as I see it, I've been to the mountaintop, seen it with my eyes. Ooh, okay. Let this be testament to our unity for future generations. Let's stand together as blood and sword. I feel responsible and ashamed for the actions of my predecessors. Most of all, I feel the desperation to remove this black mark from our history. Remove it from the history? Mistakes were made, the innocent people of Izam paid the price, but we cannot let the past... That feels like we're just kind of washing it away. You know what I mean? No, I think, again, we'll just go for unity. Unity. Stand together as blood and sword, now and forever. Amen. Yes, I need help. I need all your help. All of us work together to make this country a better place for everyone. Ooh. Now, is this going a bit far? What did Lucian say this meant? Can you remember? Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to go all in with our 2 feet. We're going to go free blue deer. You know what we're going to say? Hey, blah, blah. Don't do it. Oh, I couldn't help myself. I got a bit carried away. There was no reaction from the crowd. Oh, damn it, President. You just had to put your foot in it, didn't you? Man soon leaning closer to me. I must admit, Mr. President, that was a good speech. Just doing my duty. Oh, that's a bit... Oh, that sounds like a... No, you know what? No, we're not just doing our duty. I think we've gone beyond our duty here. Damn, I should have clicked that. He extended his hand for me for a handshake. Oh, a hug? I think we're going to do it. We've put our foot in it. We're going to put all the feet in it. We're going to put the feet, the hands, everything in it. Big embrace. Big hug. I spread my arms and hugged him. Suddenly the whole crowd erupted into applause. Thank you for this, Mr. President. I don't think the people of Suzerain will ever forget this. You have become the first and only president brave enough to come to Suzerain and pay respects to the Islam victims. I hope this will be the start of a new era. Thank you. Lucian rushed over to me. It's all right, Lucian, we've got this covered. Oh, the people love me. Gloria Tori's going to lose her mind. Sir, it's time to go. Okay, let's get the flipping hell out of here. Let's go. Run! We started making our way back to the convoy. Well done, sir. This will prove very useful in the upcoming elections. What's the rush? The whole trip runs on a schedule, sir. The convoy needs to start driving now, or else we won't make it back in time. We know how Lucian is a great timekeeper. We entered our vehicles and started making our way back home from Suzerain. Well, we found ourselves down in the car. Probably sit back and have a good old whiskey, I'd say. Whew, that was a close one. But I think our speechcraft has pulled it out the fire. Reconciliation process. Look at that, promoting reconciliation between the two sides. The initiative aims to create a ceasefire and encourage dialogue to address the historical grievances of the Bluish people and promote equal treatment under the law. Look at that. Let's see what the radical says. Brotherhood of the people. President Rain surprised the country with his attendance at the Ashraf anniversary. He joined the vigil alongside Mansoon Lek on the day Swordland remembers Watani Ashraf. He has delivered a heartfelt speech that resonated among the crowd. We hope that his words won't just stay as words. Long live Brotherhood of the people. That's probably as positive as they are going to get. That is a good start to reconciliation. My nephew should shout, not me. Briefing on the current political situation. No, she's not shouting me, she's shouting my nephew. I mean, obviously my dinner can't be too far behind, but I walked to the White Room with a cup of coffee in my hand. It's all right. My Vice President has scheduled a meeting on the current political situation. I opened the door and entered the room. Lucian immediately stood up. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Lucian. Sipping on my coffee. Always got to start the day with a good coffee. Give me a second here. I can't make football on Wednesday because I have got do some tabletop gaming. Right. I wanted to provide you with some quick updates on the current political situation. Pulls out some documents from a briefcase and lays them out on the table. Mr. Hall has reported to me that he has almost finished drafting his new plan for the economy. He said he wanted to solidify the plan before it is presented to you. He will schedule a meeting soon to go over our options. We've put a lot of trust in Simon. He's never failed us yet. We trust him completely. Mr. Hall is exceptionally skilled. I am sure he will deliver as well. He closed the folder and put away the documents. Moving on. Next, it's time to talk about our election prospects. Lucian took out a new set of documents. I caught a glimpse of colourful charts and graphs. I've just received the results of a voter poll commissioned by Peter Vecton shortly before his departure. To put it in plain language, it's not promising. Bad, even. The USP stands to lose up to 20% of the vote compared to 1953. I'm not worried. Because I don't even want a second term, if I'm honest with you, Lucian. No, I do actually want a second term. We want to continue on our legacy. However, we're not worried because the people will vote as the people need to vote. We can still win them over. We can still do what we need to do. And if they are not happy with the outcomes, let them vote. That is what democracy is about. A year isn't a very long time, Mr. President. But yes, we can definitely gain more votes if we think strategically. Fortunately, your new Vice President also happens to be an excellent strategist. Go on, Lucian. Lucian shuffled some pages around. I think Lucian's trying to tell us this is not looking good. Conservatives? Nah. Liberals? Nah. Nationalists? Forget about it. Socialists? Not a prayer. Anybody gonna vote for us? You're set to have the highest share of the bluish vote of any Swordish president. You're even winning them away from the WPB. Well, that's something, isn't it? Let's hope they come out in their flipping droves. Lastly, we can't expect votes from centrists and unaffiliated voters unless we do something to win them over. Okay? It sounds like we're doing it does. But, you know, as I said, we have done everything. I don't regret many decisions that we've made. I think everything we have done with the best of intentions. We've had to, we've been railroaded at times, but if what we've done is not going to be enough to win the votes, then so be it. However, Lucian, Mr. Strategist, you sound like you may have a plan, so what do you suggest? Lucian smiled and bowed his head slightly. Thank you, Mr. President. This may sound like common sense, but a convincing enough campaign can succeed where policies fail. Even if you've opted not to focus on your campaign at the moment, I'd still advise you to seize every chance for exposure that you can. Hopefully this is where our affiliation with Mr. Newspaperman might come into play. You know? Get me on the papers, write me up well, put me on the television at the right times. We could do something. So as much as we're not into Image, Image, we wear the same suit and hat and glasses every day. We've got 50 of them in the wardrobe. However, we do want to be here for another term at least to see a lot of our policies into fruition. There's no point of starting all these and then just going, Pete Tong when somebody else gets in 4 years later. So we have invested interest in wanting to continue. So if all it takes for us to continue is to get our face out there, wet a few babies' heads, and smile for the camera for a year, whilst we're still doing the substance as well, then so be it. So be it. I'll take that into account, Lucian. I'll take that into account. I'll remember. I'll take it into account. Maybe I'll get some different coloured suits and shock people. What the hell? The president's wearing green today. What the hell's happened here? Good. On another note, there is not insignificant portion of undecided voters who don't care who occupies the Maroon Palace as long as the economy is running smoothly. Propping up the economy just ahead of the election is a surefire way to win them over. That's what we're working towards. So it's all on Simon then? No, it kind of is, but good to know. Good to know. We're working towards that as well. Stability is key to allow the economy to improve further. Currently, the country is still struggling to develop due to instability. There are some worrying news. The Lotherberg Group is up to something. My informants have been talking about frequent meetings happening between the oligarchies. There is one last thing you should know about. I have reason to suspect that Lilius Graff will attempt to challenge you for USP leadership. Oh, and we've just given her more power to line her campaign trail. Look at me, with the gendarmerie at my side. I have done this, that and the other. We just give it to her. Shot ourselves in the foot, did we? Oh dear. But if she fails, then she'll look a fool. How do you know? I merely have been keeping my ear to the ground as always. At any rate, if my suspicions are true, you will need as many allies within the party as possible. This sounds like a lot of effort. I need allies, I need a stable economy, and I need to be wetting babies' heads. Okay, I've got 3 things to remember here. Please keep this close to your chest, sir. You know how much power Miss Graff wields in these halls? Any other advice, Lucian, before you leave me? That was everything on my end. Excellent. Good work. I left the room to attend my next meeting. Well, yeah, a few thoughts running through our heads. Bloody hell. Now it's election trail. Here we go. The president knocking on the door. I wonder if he'd get as much backlash as somebody knocking on mine. Get away from me, oh, President Red. I hate you. Right, the Household Post. Government imposed mandatory vaccine policy. Everyone in the country has to be vaccinated against polio. The disease barely claimed more or less 1,000 people. Why is it necessary for the whole country to spend our hard-earned rent for something that is nowhere near us? The disease was spreading from Wayland to Berger. It seems that those illegal immigrants from Wayland not only caused chaos in our society, but also brought with them deadly diseases. As such, it is more than clear that the solution to this problem is to completely quarantine the entire of Berger and increase our border control. Instead, President Reid is forcing everyone to pay for something that we don't currently need. Government buys polio vaccine from Kairoot. And the Radical. The President's decisive action stops polio in its track. Wait a second, something's happening here. The Radical are getting a bit too nicey-nicey. Thanks to the administration's foresight, large quantities of vaccines have been secured, but a mandatory vaccine policy was implemented. So the Hawthorne Post is beginning to be nasty, and the Radical are beginning to be nice. What's happening here? Something's going wrong here. There's been a shift happened somewhere. Right, I'm just going to read these reports but eat at the same time. Bear with me. What's next on the agenda? Industrial expansion. We'll just agree with Simon. Whatever he says, yes, Simon, we'll agree with you. Just get it done. Right, okay, so we kind of have to do this, really. We kind of have to do this. We're not going military. It's -8, that's just a step too far. I'm thinking, I mean, agriculture, we've come from an agricultural background. We've invested in agriculture in Berger. It kind of would compound. However, you know, we're looking to the future here. And we can't help but all the stuff that's coming out of Arcadia is very electronics based. It's clearly the future. Could be some big money in it in the future. I think we're going to go electronics here. Let's get into the electronics market. State investments. Although we could become an agricultural powerhouse, you know, we've got, you know, shipping out all this lovely no. Kind of want to do agriculture really, but again, it would synergize a little bit with this. You know, we've got the roads up there and stuff. That was helping with the agriculture, wasn't it? Or was it? That's just business and trade. I'm not bothered about the automotive industry. Right, so it's electronics or agriculture. Of course, we get the benefits of the electronics industry, you know, and then obviously the export potential. We do have a lot of good agriculture across the land. I might look at every city again, but there was several cities that had good agriculture. But if we're looking at what we need to be focusing on, don't forget, going forward, is stabilising the economy. So we're looking at which is going to be the best long term, you know, to provide stability. Stability being money, really, income. I think electronics. I think so. I think so. Let's go for it. Let's try it. -7. Electronics industry expansion program. Entrepreneurs, aspiring students in our new education facilities. Foster innovation, enhance technical expertise and drive the development of the electronics industry in Swordland. Modernise, go with the times, baby. Let's not be stuck in the past. This could be the strapline of our second term. We have stabilised and now we propel ourselves into the future. Electronics powerhouse. Gelsword lights up Swordland's future. With Gelsword at the helm of the industrial expansion into electronics, Swordland is on track to secure its place in the global electronics market. As Gelsword harnesses this surge of investment, it paves the way for technological innovation and secures Swordland's future as an electronics powerhouse. This strategic initiative could prove pivotal in shaping Swordland's industrial trajectory and economic resilience. Massive push for new electronics industry. Technological revival awaits. Look at that. Experts in the country who praised Arcasia and United Contana on their dedication to investing in electronics have also extended their commendations to the Reign administration for economically advocating such measures. Will Swordland manufacture its very own radio soon? It might now be possible to think of such a reality. I think it's gone down well. Read the report. In an electronics industry boom in Gelsword. That could be good. Let's see that line go up. Let's see that we need something, because we're almost bankrupt. Communication breakdown in military. Oh no. Oh dear. We're gonna have to come down on someone like a ton of bricks. Maybe we should come down like a ton of bricks on Lilius. Paint her as incompetent. Harm her chances of the leadership. What did that do? Ooh. Checkmate? I know I'm muted. 2 government budget. Oh, for God's... Do you know what? Just bring it on. Bring it on. We're going to bankrupt us. Sheesh kebab. What the hell? The hell is going to happen? Okay. Excellent women's rights. At what cost? Gender equality in education. At what cost? It's fine. I mean, that's probably beyond fine. But hey, we had to do it. End the day at home. Checkmate, indeed. Right, okay. Hopefully, we'll get some money back somehow, somewhere. It was raining as Sergei dropped me off at home after yet another grueling day of work, where more government budgets slipped through our coffers, through our fingers. Jeez Louise, we're just dreading it. We're dreading what's going to happen. It's fine. Just borrow more. You might have £1 million, or you can have £1 billion or £1 trillion worth of debt. Who cares? Well, what's the worst that's going to happen? A guard held an umbrella over my head as I walked from the car to my front door. Inside the house, it was completely dark. I crept on the light in the kitchen to find a note from Monica. Chiara had called her in for a last-minute women's rights meeting. She dropped Dina off at her friend's and left me some food for reheating. I took the pot out of the fridge. It was filled with an unidentifiable greyish-looking stew. Evidently, Monica's excellent cooking had been the first casualty of her political career. Order a pizza. I'll probably come out of a bloody personal budget. You know what? It might taste nice. We eat the stew. I sighed and put the pot on the stove. I could have ordered a pizza. Come on, Anton. Come on, loosen that tie up, sir. Come on now. While it was heating up, I went to the living room to fix myself a drink. Suddenly the phone rang. I went back to the kitchen and answered it. Frank's voice was on the other end. Oh, I thought Mum would pick up. That's nice, isn't it? Sorry. You're stuck with your old man, I'm afraid, Frank. Sorry to disappoint you. I didn't mean it that way. I just figured you'd be working. There was a long silence. I got that record you sent me. Not bad for old folks' music. Huh. Glad you liked it. How's Uncle Peter doing? Not bad. Not bad. Do you know what he did? I might as well be honest with him. I get it. You don't want to talk about it. I did. I was asking if you knew. Oh, well, fine. You know the military's worried about things escalating with Rumberg since you threw Livia in jail. They're moving more and more troops up near Maugwa. Yes, I'll see what I can do to alleviate tensions. The last thing I want is my son, or anybody's son for that matter, going into battle. So you do care about me, now that I'm out of the house. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's quite the comeback, actually. But no, I always did, Peter. Come on now, don't be Peter. Frank. Sorry about that. I love you so much, I can't even remember your name, chap. What were you called again? I always did. I'm graduating from basic training soon. The commander says I could be the next Iosif Lanceer. Well, that's the last person you want to be like. Oh, it came out of my mouth. I've got to pick it. Came out of my mouth. I said it. Too much. I could, yeah. I'm not sure I shouldn't badmouth my cabinet to my son, really, should I? Option 2, I could have picked fun at his hair. Ooh, don't you say that if you ever visit, assuming you want to leave with your legs intact. Honestly, I was so ticked off at you for sending me here, but I'm really starting to like it. Thank God for failure, right? See you later, Jam. Enjoy your dinner. I'm glad you were never a failure. It's just that to look at alternative options is all. I suddenly became aware of a smoky smell coming from the kitchen. My dinner was burning. Good catching up with you, Frank. Yeah, okay, bye, Dad. We both hung up. I raced to the stove and turned off the burner. The bottom of the pot was charred, but part of the mystery stew was still salvageable. I ate alone by the flickering light of the television, wondering when Monica and Dina would get home. Debt crisis. Another budget's just gone. Where's that? We were -9, right? Where's another budget gone? Stat decreased. Why? Has a government budget gone down? Sana Agricultural Zone. The establishment of a new 30-hectare zone has provided a significant boost to local farmers in Swordland, enabling them to expand their agricultural production and generate a substantial number of job opportunities. It's enhanced food security. It contributed to economic development of rural communities. Stimulating the economy. Not enough, I don't think. Debt crisis. Tourism industry heavily declining. Lauren region stabilizing economy. Oh shoot, we're in big trouble. We're in big problems now. We've got a debt crisis apparently. How do we get to this? Right. Morella marks her first South Macopan nation candidacy. The Republic of Morella's progressively governed nation in South Macopa has been accepted as a candidate for CSP membership. Morella's acceptance as a candidate marks a first for CSP, the United States' first South Macopan nation to begin the process, blah 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 blah. Okay. So basically we can't afford to spend any more budget on anything at all. I'm so sorry, but it's just not going to happen. We can't afford it. Sorry. Whoa, instability severely affects tourism industry. Visits to the city have sharply declined as tourists opt for safer destinations. The downturn in tourist numbers has led to considerable losses for local businesses and threatens the city's standing as a major tourist hub in Swordland. Oh, this is not good. It's okay. It's okay. Boo 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 boo. What's this? Police overwhelmed in remote cities. Ambushes are rampant. The security forces are being pushed back. Police stations and patrols were the main targets of the militants. Current forces are not enough to control the situation. Debt crisis shocks the economy. Credit rating downgrade. Oh no, 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 not good. That's still soldiering on. What's this? Oh, agricultural city. That's positive. Low investment synergy reported. Lack of alignment and coordination in investment strategies is leading to suboptimal results. So basically, if we'd have invested in agriculture, which would have probably synergized with down here, we could probably have got a boost. Which made sense, I suppose. In my own head, I was almost contemplating it, you know. But I had to go for those electrics. Oh, I think that's a probably yeah. We should have got agricultural investment. I think. Oh, we had to sign that bill for the women's rights. We had to. And we had to invest as well. I mean, I can't see any alternative. Oh no! What the? Oh God! Bills that probably want to be paid for. The Swordish debt debacle. Concerns among investors and analysts. Serious debt crisis, increased borrowing costs, reduction in foreign investment, and the risk of a potential default. That's not good. Human Dignity Bill. Is it going to cost anything? The Human Dignity Bill is set before the Assembly to address the unintended consequence of the 1923 Legal Transactions Act. Section 1 of the HDB revisits and amends Section 3 of the aforementioned Act, which previously allowed transactions involving non-registered businesses or other entities, including individuals, to be legalised, provided that accurate documentation was submitted to the financial authority. The HDB bill specifically revokes the legality of such transactions if they involve activities that infringe upon public morality. Section 2 directly addresses the inadvertent loophole created by the 1923 Act, which resulted in the unregulated existence of prostitution. Okay. Section 3 stipulates penalties for violations of the provisions in the preceding sections. It deems prostitution an illegal offence. Fines, imprisonment, both. Okay, let's sign that. That's fine. I think. Okay. Human Dignity Acts. Common decency. Oh dear. Children for future. Oh, this is like a handout to parents not falling in the medium or high income brackets. State support. Children of unemployed. It's like, almost like a child support system. We can't afford it. I'm sorry. Sorry. Gotta sign it. No, we don't. No, we don't. We can't afford to fund it, I'm afraid. Right, traditional values, a Swordish law. Take the children's free milk. Yes, they shall have to pay for their milk. We can't go any further into debt. Well, we haven't got, to quote the government, magic money trees, alright? Traditional values, a Swordish law. President Rain has signed the Human Dignity Bill, protecting common decency in Swordland. Prostitution will now be punishable by law, ensuring that moral principles, traditional values and Swordland's integrity is now written into law. The Assembly should be applauded for its strong moral backbone in signing this bill. And apparently the election campaign ramps up. Speeches are being delivered, conventions, rallies, flags are flying. USP appears to be the most prominent. Okay. Swordland today. Former VP steps back from public life. Peter Vecton has not been seen in public in months. Not been able to reach him. Ooh, hope he's alright. Yeah. Swordish debt causes credit downgrade. Oh, God. Massive report on government deficit has surfaced from the Ministry of Economy. Help me, Simon. Help me. B to D. Uh-oh. It feels like a spiral is about to happen here. Economic reforms required. D minus even. Analysts express concern over the country's mounting debt. Immediate reforms required. It's okay. We're working on it. No future for Swordish children. Vetoed the Children for Future Act. He is incapable of thinking about others, especially the less fortunate citizens of Swordland. Children will die because of this decision. How does this administration sleep at night? Not very sound at the moment. Grand opening of Sana Agricultural Zone. Agricultural products, especially wheat, are expected to increase substantially. In combination with the city being a free trade zone, Sana is foreseen to thrive and become the centre of trade in the region. Swordland's debt crash sends shockwaves across international markets. Martianized. Are you a little bit behind? You might be a little bit behind. Simon better have some bloody good tricks up his sleeve. Yeah, he better do. Unless I've missed your comments. MFI has expressed its willingness to intervene and provide financial assistance to Swordland, but only if the government implements stringent austerity measures and enacts much-needed economic reforms. Ooh, this doesn't sound good. Internal affairs. Does that include debt crisis? I don't think it does at the minute. Oh my God. A storm was on the horizon outside my window. The inside of my office, however, was very warm and cosy. I shaped myself on the sofa next to the fireplace and looked at Mansoon, who was sitting on the couch across from me. He was here representing all 8 bludish members of the Assembly. He had dark creases under his eyes from a lack of sleep. As I said earlier, we've been working on this bill for a long time, Mr. President. I've always done my best to represent my people, only to keep getting blocked in the Assembly. We can't have that same happen again. I've always brought my people's concerns to the Assembly and raised my voice whenever our rights were in question. All we ask is that the Assembly at least have a proper discussion. But all that we get is disrespect. MPs shouting racial slurs at us, not allowing us to speak, and it's not only the National Front. He stopped for a moment and repositioned himself on his seat. And considering now that I'm representing the Workers' Party in the Assembly as its new leader, I have a lot more responsibility against my people. Having said that, there has been a lot of new developments since we last spoke, and the Bludish Rights Movement is extremely happy with the new changes to the Constitution. But Governor Bron is still in charge of the Special Zone, free to continue his oppressive policies against the Bludish community. And something must be done about this. I don't even remember a time when Mrs. Tory allowed me to finish a speech. The Assembly does not take the Workers' Party seriously. We need your help. I understand, Mr. Leck. This discrimination against you is unacceptable. That's where your help would be very valuable. He gestured at the papers that I had received from him earlier. All we need is your support for our bill. It's time to undo the mistakes of the Swordish state against its citizens. I only ask you to help us make this single step for good instead of staying idle. Question is, though, does it cost anything? Because if it does, oh, God help us. Our proposal aims to form a committee for minority rights, and it will lift the ban on the Bludish Freedom Party, as well as giving amnesty to all who were arrested for having ties to it. Their families are still waiting for them in Berger. It's not Tarquin Saul's era anymore. It's time we tried to clean up the taint he left on our history. I mean, we agree in principle. I mean, getting it through is going to be tricky, I assume, but glad to hear it, Mr. President. He rubbed his chin. So we have your support? We don't know. We already don't have the nationalists on our side, so what does it matter? Yes, I shall form the commission and support your bill in the Assembly. Thank you, Mr. President. He rose up and walked up to me. He extended a hand. It means a lot. Thank you. We shook hands. Suddenly we had a knock on the door and Lucian entered. Sir? I'm sorry, I thought your meeting was over. Mr. President has already decided. We can call it over, Mr. Gallard. I was already leaving. Great. Then we must go to the meeting room, sir. One of our new campaign advisors has some plans for the election. He's waiting for us. Okay, off we go. Uh-oh. Have no alliances. Achievement I have just got. I saw a Zeppelin flying over the Maroon District. Oh my god, the news is coming thick and fast. Event available, blockade of Helliland. Holy cow, what's going on? Swordish corporations bemoan Women's Liberation Act. The heads of Swordland's large corporations wrote an open letter to economists in protest of the recently passed Women's Liberation Act, a new set of laws meant to grant equal rights. They complain the mandatory pay maternity leave policy will encourage their female workers to become pregnant, costing them vast amounts of money, to say nothing of the requirement that female employees must now be paid as much as their male counterparts. Proponents of the Act argue that the influx of thousands of women into the workplace will offset these losses. Economists has yet to be convinced. Rich and standard rate sword land E-. Okay. Yeah, we're in a doom and gloom situation. Okay, so the bill has passed. Thanks to Kiera Walder and my wife. Right, Arcasia's dual approach to refugees. Receive housing and various socio-economic benefits, ensuring that transition is as smooth as possible. Vargsland Bokeh, so this is what the event is, right? So according to reports coming from Heliland, the island is under complete blockade by the Varslandian Navy. 6 ships that transported goods to the island were forced to retreat when the Varslandian fleet fired at them. It seems Chancellor Hegel decided to send troops into Heliland and seize control of the island, but why does Heliland matter to Varsland? Located in the middle of the Mycenaean Sea, historical ties, it was territory before it was annexed. Okay. Battle to power in the Mycenaean Sea, blah de blah. So yeah, it's all kicked off massively. Rumberg plane warned inside airspace. Ooh, entered for 2 minutes and left after issuing a radio message. Oh, things are not looking good here. Things are kicking off. Minority Rights Act. Does it cost anything? No. Good. Right, okay. Inclusivity and Equal Rights. Minority Rights Act. Safeguard and champion the rights of all minorities residing in Swordland. Formation of a Minority Rights Commission. Bluish community. Revokes the ban on the BFF party. Path for reconciliation. So we said we'd support this, so we do support it. We've got another achievement. Form the Commission for Bluish Rights achievement. That's good news. We're making steps to reconcile. Political inclusivity. We're still in horrendous debt, though. Rain unbans controversial Bluish party. While the name suggests differently, the main purpose of this act is to normalise, legalise and even justify the Bluish separatist sentiment. The Act revoked the ban on the Bluish Freedom Party, which was previously closed for their close ties to the militant Bluish Freedom Front, and gives amnesty for previous political prisoners. The Hawthorne Post condemns this decision. Condemn away. In a surprising move, says the Radical, they've decided to do something right for the Bluish citizens by signing the Minority Rights Act into law. While we don't know whether the Minority Rights Commission that will be formed as part of this act will actually manage to decrease racial inequality, the new law tries to undo past mistakes by revoking the ban on the Democratic Party of the BFP and giving amnesty to Sol-era prisoners who have been prosecuted under ridiculous accusations. Rain's move to reverse Tarquin Sol's ban on the BFP has been welcomed by many Bluish citizens. Mansoon Lek, who campaigned heavily for the bill, also sought to express his gratitude for the confirmation of the new rules, saying it is a step in the right direction for the Bluish people. Woohoo! Alcohol tax! Increase it! We need money! Yeah, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. Although we have ensured that Bluish votes will no longer come to us, but will go to their own party. Yeah, that's very true. Good night, Vienna. Alcohol tax, yay, +1 to government budget. Yes, sign it now. Sign it now. Curb excessive alcohol consumption and booze tax. This is a select to cigarette situation. Now we're taxing alcohol. 25% import tax on foreign alcohol products imported from countries that do not currently have any trade regulations imposed on alcohol-related goods. Level the playing field for domestic producers. +1 to government budget. We'll take it. And a health boon too. We had another thing to sign. Fair Luxury Tax Act. +2 government budget. Sign it now. Fair Luxury Tax Act. An amendment to Section 5 of the Tax Code. The 15% tax rate on luxury goods. Jewellery first, sports cars, yachts and private planes. 10% estate tax. Oh yes please. Thank you very much. Woohoo! Signed 10 bills, -7 government budget. That looks a bit better, doesn't it, than -10. Increased luxury good prices. Alcohol consumption reduced. Oopsie daisy. Luxury is now taxable. Reign to put a lid on alcohol consumption. Drunk and disorderly youths will quickly learn that their actions have consequences, and they will soon be paying a further 20% tax on alcohol products in the country. Emergency call on an escalating situation. Right, it's 5 to 10, and I'm just thinking about what kind of time I want to be wrapping up here. I was aiming for around about 10 o'clock-ish, but emergency call on an escalating situation needs to be dealt with. This will be our last turn. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a call from the Ministry of Defence. Due to the sensitivity of the information, I had to be urgently briefed in person. I put my clothes on as fast as I could. Sergei was waiting downstairs. Mr. President, this way to the car, please. Oh, here we go. It's music time. We got into the car and made our way to the Ministry of Defence building without a word. I arrived and was directed downstairs. I came to a set of large doors and quickly read the sign above them. The sign read, War Room. Oh, The dimly lit room was filled with cutting-edge equipment, the latest video screens, long-range radio electronics and other devices used for communication, presentation and planning. The centrepiece of the room was a large round table with the coat of arms of Swordland engraved on it. David, Lucian, Iosef and Vulcan were already deep in discussion. I agree with your sentiments, Mr. Lancer. Going to war is simply too risky. We must maintain peace in Swordland and Eastern Macopa at all costs. I agree. We have much to lose. Have some faith in our soldiers. What is going on here? Mr. President, thank you for coming in at this late hour. There is a situation. Vulcan, please go ahead and provide your report. Mr. President, approximately 20 minutes ago, Rumberg downed one of our planes with anti-aircraft fire from the ground. The pilot was declared KIA. The last recorded position of the plane was inside Swordish airspace. General Kruger, I mean no offense, but are we absolutely sure that that is the case? Are you sure this happened within our borders? No offence taken. Here are the locations on the map and the report from the airbase. He pointed to several markers on the map. To answer your question, yes, we are absolutely sure. You can see here on the map that the plane was downed approximately 10 kilometers inside our borders. We have calculated the trajectory of the gunfire, and they started firing when our plane was within our border. The plane was downed near Haugen. Oh dear. Yes, we need to exercise caution. A war with Rumburg is the last thing we want right now. I completely agree. It looks like they are trying to lure us into their trap. This is an attack against Swordland, and under different circumstances the response to that is clear. But the current status of our military is also clear. We are not adequately equipped for such a foe. I agree with Mr. President. We can't look weak. If we appear weak, they will jump on the opportunity. We must order a military retaliation immediately. Did you start losing your common sense, General Vulcan? You know the state our army is in right now. A retaliation is too risky. When was our job not risky, Mr. Lancer? Mr. President, our army is ready to do whatever it takes to protect Swordland. Gentlemen, before it comes to that point, we can prevent further bloodshed by using diplomacy. The room fell silent before Iosa finally spoke up. Mr. President, what are your orders? We will try to approach this situation diplomatically. De-escalate the situation by any means. No one wants a war. Lucian's tensed-up shoulders relaxed. Thank you, sir. I will immediately begin working on it. With Mr. Wishy's capabilities, I'm sure that we will de-escalate the situation successfully. We will keep you updated on our progress. This is our best bet. If you ask me, this is just plain old weakness we are showing them right now. I am frankly disappointed, Mr. President. If we can't even retaliate at such an attack, what will become of this country in the future? Peace must be maintained at all costs. I am saying this as a man who has seen too many years of war. We are not the ones that are attacking the peace. Regardless, it looks like your decision has been made, Mr. President. I know when I am not needed, I would take my leave. Before he left the room, he saluted. Well, now that we know the way forward, I have an idea, Mr. President. I think we should hold a military parade to display our strength. I am with Mr. Lancer on this one. This should work well as a deterrent, and it will come in handy as a tool to de-escalate the situation. Yes, that is a good idea. Simple and effective, without causing any ruckus. Okay. Organize the parade. Understood. That is all, Mr. President. I will keep you updated on the situation. For now, have a good night's sleep. You will need it. I couldn't sleep at all that night. Holy cow. We've got a call with Evelyn Vecton. That's probably bad news about Peter, I'm sure. Swordfish plane shot down. Shot inside the airspace of Swordland. A heinous act purposefully done by our rivals in the north. But we are trying to resolve it diplomatically. Right, there we go, folks. We are hanging thinly in the balance. Tensions in the region. Concern about Rumburg's aggressive maneuvers. Warns us to stay vigilant. Stay vigilant we shall. Right, so we shall be streaming this again tomorrow. So in tomorrow's session, we will proceed onwards. Our debt situation has got a little bit better. Hopefully we'll get some more opportunities to increase our government budget. Hopefully some of these investments that we've done will help to increase the growth line, you know, with the women's rights as well and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully that will start to come into effect in time for the election. But we will start the next session tomorrow in Holsword, calling Evelyn Vecton. Hopefully it's not bad news about Peter. Anyway, there you go, folks. Thanks for joining me this evening. Good to be back into the swing of things finally, after my holiday and my 4 days at home just chilling out. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with some more of this as we make our way towards the end of our campaign. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons or evenings, wherever you are. And yeah, tomorrow we start a new working week. My first day at back work tomorrow, so well, happy days. No doubt 300 emails to go through. So, but yeah, another week ahead, and we'll see what it brings. But hopefully see some of you tomorrow. Have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you soon.